Friends, I have come to the conclusion that the Hebrews were a race or a tribe of people who were really the chosen nation of Elu'hym, and they are his people, and on the other hand the Jews or Jewish people are a different race of people who are separate from the Hebrew people. And the Hebrew language that was spoken back then was different then than now before the Hebrews ceased to be a nation, as it was foretold by Elu'hym that they were going to be disbanded from being a nation, if they continued to disobey Elu'hym. And Elu'hym has promised that Elu'hym, himself would be returning to gather the Hebrews, the 12 tribes, the chosen people of Elu'hym to set up a holy kingdom in the end times, and to set up his holy kingdom in the earth with his chosen people, and the sealed tribes of the Hebrew people, the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, whose name was changed to Elu'hym Israel, and those who have been sealed with the holy name of Elu'hym. Thus the Elu'hym Nisraelites or Elu'hym Nisraelis, and Elu'hym would be coming back to establish a holy nation in the kingdom of Elu'hym, but the Hebrew people and their language are inseparable, because they are one in the same, and there is no distinction from one another, because they are one in the same. First of all, I believe the Hebrews are the chosen people of Elu'hym, and they were a nation people that Elu'hym, have chosen, and whom Elu'hym Elu'yah have placed his holy name on. And the biblical characters, like Abraham was a Hebrew, and likewise also David and Solomon and many others. And it is fair to say that the Hebrews them are all the descendants of Abraham and Isaac and Jacob and Esau and Ishmael. So, why is it that the Jews aren't calling themselves Hebrews? I believe it's because the Jews and the Hebrews I surmised are two different distinct races of people, and if the Jews them are claiming to have Abraham and Jacob and Isaac as their forefathers, then why are they claiming to be Jews? When they are not Hebrews, friends, it's because they know that they are not Hebrews. And, friends, then why is it that they all have embraced the Hebrews language? And, in Judaism, and if the truth is been told, the fact of the matter is that the Jews or the Jewish people that called themselves Jewish or Jews, when they are not Hebrews but could very well be Canaanites. Friends, something doesn't jive. Let's look into this further. The ancient holy language spoken by the ancient Hebrews was taken over by the Jews and it has been now corrupted. The major Bible characters were all Hebrews, the prophets and the kings and the judges. And they all had a name that was ascribed to them, with the holy name of Elu'hym. With many of the sacred names of Elu'hym. Friends, according to Numbers 6:27, the descendants of Abraham, the Hebrews were told by Elu'hym, that they were to put the name of Elu'hym on their children them, or they were to ascribe one of the several names of Elu on the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, meaning, Elu'hym Israel. Here is the quote, "And you shall put my name, the name of Elu'hym on the children of Jacob, and I Elu'hym will bless them." Most dictionaries would tell you that the Jews today, that they have adopted the German and the Phoenician and the Aramaic alphabet script or alphabet, and this so-called modern or mixed-up alphabet and devious writing script, produces the standard or High German language or modern Hebrew today, which is the language called Yiddish. And what is Yiddish? Yiddish is a language used by many German Jews and Ashkenazi Jews. And many other Jews, and Yiddish is a muddled German dialect developed under Judaism with Germanic and Slavic accents influences. And it was written with Hebraic lettering or Hebraic characters. And, Yiddish, is made up of a High German standard language and is one of the German Middle dialects, which is a language made up with Low and High German, and their different accents, and is made up with Germanic and Slavic words and their different accents and influences, which also includes some Hebrew words or Hebraic words along with other words that have been spoken in Europe, Rome, Roman Romanian, as a common vernacular by many other Jewish communities. Those, which are written partly with the Hebrew script. And the word Yiddish means a devious trick, and, friends, I believe that this so-called Hebrew that is spoken today is foreign to the original language of the ancient Hebrew nation people of Elu'hym, than to that of the modern Hebrew spoken today, which is really Yiddish and is not the sacred holy language of heaven, nor is of the ancient biblical Hebrews, like David and Solomon and others, which goes as far back in the era of Moses and even Abraham. and quite possibly from the beginning of time and the creation, when E, the sovereign creator, created Elu, and E, the Holy One, created himself, Elu'hymn, the glorious sovereign one who resembles our Son. And in the day when Elu'hymn created the world and mankind. But what we have here are a counterfeit people, and those who appears to be a lost people who are confused, and those who are claiming to be Hebrews, and who also are a people who are Yiddish, meaning Jews, and are the ones who are claiming to be one of the 12 tribes or the ones who are devious, and are of those whose ancestry is dubious but are the ones who are claiming to be from the tribe of the chosen people of Elu'hymn, but who has rejected Elu'hymn as their sovereign and the king of the heavens and the earth. And they are like others, who are worshipping and lauding God and Jesus as Yeshua, and a God, who they don't really know, instead of Elu'hymn, the true sovereign of the heavens and the earth. And who are a people who appears to be confused and lost, and they are the ones who are embracing the Hebrew language, when they aren't really Hebrews, but appears to be a people who are possibly of a lost tribe of the Canaanites who are pretentious and devious, and a people who are admittedly claiming to be Jews or to be Jewish, even though the biblical record gives the appearance that they are possibly Hebrews, but it is not clear as to which tribe, because some seem to think they are from either the tribe of Benjamin or Judah, which are both a Hebrew tribe, but they are not recognizing that. And it very possible that they are not at all from Hebrews' ancestry but are from a race of Canaanite people that should not be, because they have rejected the Hebrews' ancestry for their superiority. And they all prefer to be called Jews or Jewish instead of Hebrews, possibly because they know that they aren't Hebrews but are imposters, and they are, in my opinion, I don't want to be Hebrews. And they are possibly of a lost tribe or probably a misplaced tribe from the Canaanites. And Elu'hymn left the Jews a stern warning in the Revelation, I Elu'hymn know those who are mine. And those who are Jews, and those who are claiming to be Hebrews and are not, but are the ones that are in the synagogue of Satan. Friends, the letter J is about 500 years old. And when the King James Bible was translated to English, many of the Hebrew words and nouns were changed, and also the names of the Hebrews and the names of the prophets of Elu'hymn, and the names of the Hebrews' towns and cities were ill-translated. And many Hebrew words were also changed with the introduction of the letter J. And this letter J has changed the Bible forever. And it has turned the world of religion into a vast array of innumerable religious cults. And many Hebrew words were lost due to this devious plot and this egregious deception. You think about it, now, words and names like Jesus and Jews and Judas and Jesuits were contrived and were introduced into the Bible to deceive us. Friends, I don't believe in the translation of any Hebrew word with any translation with the letter J, like those that was translated from Hebrew to English, in the King James Bible, and I also question any word or name that were translated from Hebrew into English, with the letter J, like the names of the 12 tribes, like the name Judah, which are in my opinion is a bad translation, and words and translations like these should raise your suspicion, and this is why I do not believe that there was a tribe of people that was called Jews from Judah. This is one of the major misconceptions because the descendants of Judah should be Hebrews. And when Judah is translated to English it would be Eluyada, and I believe that Judah and Jews are misleading translations. And quite possibly the Bible translator meant Hebrews and not Jews. Nor do I believe that there are a people called Israel. And the correct Hebrew translation for the land of Judah should be Elu'hymn Eluyada, and Elu'hymn Israel. And since the introduction of the letter J, names, like Judas and Jesuit and Jesus and Jews, are believed to be contrived and were used to supplant and mislead and deceive the religious world, and the letter J, as I understand was meant, to use to deceive, and mislead and gave way for the bad translation of Hebrew ancestry and the abandonment and disbandment of the Hebrew nation, and a desertion of the Hebrews' way of life and rejection of Elu'hymn, and the sovereign King of heaven, and the Hebrews' sovereign King. And also the holy tablet, and the holy language of the ancient Hebrews. And these names, and the letter J, represented the deceit and the casuistry and the lies and the blasphemies of God Godriel and Jesuit Judas Jesus and all the other man-made gods in the world. And also this abandonment of the ways of Elu'hymn, and it represented the perfidy of the Jesuits and the devil to deceive mankind and to mislead all mankind and the world at large, and to mislead us to accept all the man-made gods and to accept God Godriel and his son Jesus, and to serve and worship all the other gods and to worship all the multiple man-made gods and idols in the world, and in ignorance and in deception. The letter J has caused a lot of deception. Especially in Christendom where there is mass deception by the letter J, on an overwhelming deceptive scale that is an erroneous misrepresentation with serious consequences of biblical proportions. So if you ask me, every time that you see the letter J you should be weary and be suspicious and you should think of the perfidy of mankind and their error in the rejection of Elu'hymn, and the rejection of the holy tablet of Elu'hymn and the ancient Hebrews languages which the world today has abandoned, when they chose to be deserted from Elu'hymn for their own ways, and for the worshipping of God and Jesus. Zechariah 8:28, thus says Elu'hymn, the sovereign of heaven and the earth, Zechariah, it shall come to pass in those days, that all of mankind from all the languages of the nation them, shall say to the Hebrews, let us take hold of the Hebrews' language and their writing tablet and their holy language, the holy language of Elu'hymn. And the hands of the Hebrews, and they shall say to them we have erred. Now, we have seen the errors of our ways. And we now have seen that Elu'hymn is real and that Elu'hymn is with you, so we will go with you up to the holy Elu'hymn Jerusalem, and we will worship Elu'hymn with you. Friends, our world is like this because of mankind's rejection of Elu'hymn and the worshipping of God Godriel and his son, Jesuit Judas Jesus, these Canaanites, these gods who has corrupted us all, and we are all also are of those who are disobedient to the Sovereign One, the Holy One, Eman, the Sovereign Creator. And the devil and these Jesuits are the ones trying to further corrupt the world and the creation of Elu'hymn like they first did to mankind, when they first sin in the garden, in the fall of mankind. And when God Godriel, and Jesuit Judas Jesus, the evil spirit of Adam that enters Judas, which first brought death and sickness and diseases and sin into the world, and the curses from their sins, and Elu'hymn has reserved part of their punishment until the end time, and they would be banished from the kingdom of Elu'hymn and they would be punished forever for their disobedience to Elu'hymn, and for their insolence to Elu'hymn. And God Godriel and Jesuit Judas Jesus would be punished for their disobedience to the commandments of Elu'hymn and for causing idolatry, and for their casuistic lies and their blasphemies, and they would be cast into the pits of hell and the lake that is burning with fire and brimstone forever and forever for his punishment. And it is because of all of these deceptive religions, like Judaism and Islamism and Hinduism, that the world nowadays has been turned upside down, because like Judaism there are many counterfeit religion, and it really shows that the devil has deceived us all and that he has corrupted us and the worshipping of Elu'hymn and this entire world through his counterfeit worship, of God and Jesus, which is idolatry, and with false gods, like Yahweh and Jehovah and Allah and Buddha and Brahman. And Baal, the Lord, Jesus, just to name a few of the tens of thousands of gods that are been worshipped in the world. And with false religions, be it Jewish Judaism and Jesuitism and Elitism and Satanism and Hinduism and Buddhism and Shintoism and Christendom and spiritualism and human secularism. All of which is idolatry and the worshipping of Mari, the hedonistic tradition of worshipping the gods of Mari, the worshipping of numerable gods of nature, and the veneration of people and objects and the evil forces. And the lordolatry of Jesus and all those who have corrupted themselves, and also since from the creation, because of the fall, and the disconnection from Elu'hymn and the disobedience to Elu'hymn for the worshipping of the gods of this world, God and Jesus or whatsoever name that God and Jesus is called today. And with all the sins and the abominations with their lies and blasphemies, and also with all the idolatry and false worship, with the worshipping that has become of God Godriel, the serpent of old, that was in the Garden of Eden, and his son Baal, Baal the Lord, Jesus, and also with whatsoever other gods and goddesses, and false religions and religious deities that are been worshipped out there in the world. Friends, Elu'hymn has revealed to me the deception in the world and how, Satan, God Godriel and his son, Jesuit, Judas, Jesus have deceived the entire world and are being gladly given all the praises and the worship for it. And these Jesuits and Jesuites and the powers that are have taken the Hebrew nation, and their people, and they have disbanded them from being a nation. And whom they have cozened and vilified and killed and corrupted, and they have taken their language, when the powers that were, plundered them and enslaved them and divided their land and removed them in the great Hebrews diasporas, when they scatter them throughout the four corners of the world, and when they died they discarded them, and when they had done so they disbanded the Hebrews from being a nation. And now the Jews, the Jewish people, have claimed the Hebrews language, which they made into the language of Yiddish. Friends, the ancient holy sacred Hebrews language tablet does not commence with no aleph bet. And it does not end with no taza or taf. Friends, one day and very soon, Elu'hymn will once more regather the Hebrews them, and once more the sacred tablet, and the heavenly language, would be spoken in the kingdom of Elu'hymn and also all of the heavens and the earth. Hallelujah. Friends, there is no aleph bet in the ancient sacred tablet and the holy language that was spoken by the ancient Hebrew people. And the letter, A, is only pronounced except when it is written by itself as an A. And the letter A at times could be conjoined to act as a vowel with a consonant to form a word, like, ha, and in most cases the A is silent and is only pronounced right after a consonant, to form a word, otherwise the letter A is pronounced as an A. And the letter E is pronounced as E. Friends, do not fall for this devious trick. The letter A cannot be an E, and the letter A should not be confused for the letter E. This is just what the aleph bet does. And this is one of the aleph bet deceptions. And there are no letter J in the ancient sacred holy tablet. And this is because of the cursed name of Yeshua, Jesuit Judas Jesus, which is a cursed word or cursed name. And that's why there's no letter J. And that's why no one can produce any name that start with the letter J, like the name Jesus. And the name Jesus could have never been the name of the Hebrew people's sovereign king, because there's no way to write it or pronounce it or produce it from the ancient holy Hebrews tablet. Thus fulfilling the Hebrew curse, of Yeshua, Yumak Shemovi Zikro, pronounced on Jesus Yeshua by, Elu, by Elu'hymn, because Yeshua is Yeshua and Gesu and Jesus. And these names are also cognate names for Jesus. And the Yeshua Yumak Shemovi Zikro curse states that the name Jesus, who is Yeshua and Yeshua, along with all the other cognate names for Jesus, that they shall be erased and all the memories of them. All the names of Jesus will be erased and Jesus himself would be cast into hell and his names would be obliterated from under the heavens and the earth. And Jesus or Yeshua or whatever Jesus is called would all be forgotten, because Jesus's name would not be in the book of life, nor would he Jesus be in the kingdom of Elu'hymn, but he would be punished, and Jesus would be banished from heaven and would be cast into hell, for all his lies and blasphemies, thus say Elu'hymn, the sovereign of the heavens and the earth. Amen. Friends, if you wish to receive a copy of the ancient Hebrews holy tablet, please contact me at jmzjzzmz@gmail.com, for your copy. Here is a copy of the modern Hebrews aleph bet. And also a screenshot of some of the major religions in the world. My best regards. Friends, it's time to learn all about Elu'hymn, before it's too late. Please click here to accept or learn about Elu'hymn. Thank you. To be continued.